Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about what you can experience in a shamanic ceremony. Hello, this is Berto and this is my channel where I share my journey as a shaman practitioner. And today we're going to show you a portion of a talk that we did about shamanic ceremonies to explain more about what you can expect in a shamanic ceremony experience. Let's get into it. But this is actually a common question that we encounter, right? What is a difference between a ceremony, let's say a magical ceremony or a shamanic ceremony, versus a religious practice?
I guess the main distinction is we don't really worship. There's no focus on worship in a ceremony as opposed to say if it's religious. Ceremonies traditionally as a practice came from many religions, but there are also ceremonies that were practiced to venerate certain things, and it doesn't necessarily have to be tagged to a certain religion. So to me, the worship is the clear missing in a ceremony. That's also, that would be the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, so religion is more about worship and ceremony is about doing something in a focused, secluded, sacred.
Yes, you're learning a practice, but you're not necessarily having to worship
something.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. And that brings us to the point of another dimension of ceremony. That there are specific steps.
Yes.
That have been tried and tested.
Yes.
And that's why a lot of the traditions keep the ceremony sacred, because it's something that they have. It's kind of like, if you look at it from a product point of view, it's something that they have perfected to a point where there's almost like a patent to it. Yeah, and also another side of it is you need to protect those steps, because if somebody just haphazardly does it, then we don't know where it will go.
We don't know where it will go.
It's a big wide open world out there.
It is.
When I trained as a shaman, the very first thing we learned was defense and following steps precisely.
Yes.
Because as a beginner, you're kind of like, not as strong as those who practice it really well. So the best defense you have is to follow things strictly and to protect yourself. And again, that brings us back to why it makes sense to do a ceremony in a group together, because you have people there watching out for you. You have people there who knows the steps. You have people there who are also checking. And if you do it in a group, you have several people checking if the steps are correct.
Oh, I don't know about you. When I was starting out, I like to sit behind in a group so that I watch them do it and then I can learn from behind. I mean, that's the reality, right? So, talking of group ceremonies, the other thing that I'm seeing a trend towards is that, let's watch a ceremony online.
Oh,
what do you think of that?
Seeing that one.
I mean, you run a YouTube channel and
yeah. Well, there's a reason why I don't do stuff online. Well, I think if you look at it, it's possible. It's just that in my experience, we used to run some of the ceremonies as a hybrid. Some of it will be online. But see, one key factor in the ceremony is the participant should be fully immersed in the experience. Because there are two factors. Is the ceremony working? And most of the time, if a ceremony master is there and it's on the side, it will work if you follow the right steps. But it's also with the receiver of the benefit of the ceremony, be able to maximize that.
I was also curious. I always wonder if we do the ceremony at home and we know how much prep goes to set up the space, to clean the space, to smudge the space. So I always wonder if we are doing it on our own at home, how strict we are about setting up, and there are all these additional things that keep me wondering, and I often wonder whether there's truly an advantage of doing a ceremony on your own, because it does take a very high level of discipline to carry out something on your own without much supporting structure. And I don't know about you, but when I was first starting out, I prefer hanging around in a group, enjoying somebody else's hard work to clean the place. Then I also learned, oh yeah, this is what it should be like,
Yeah. Well, that's one thing, but to me, one of the angle I'm looking at is, you don't know what you don't know.
That's true.
Yeah. So you might think your ceremony is okay, and you think that you've done your cleansing and everything, but you see, that's the only level that you see. If you haven't seen the quality that is needed to create such energy, then chances are you might mess it up, or at the very least you go like, what happened? Nothing happened. I'm supposed to get this, nothing happened, or you just convince yourself, oh, something happened. That's the usual thing I observe. I mean, I've also run face-to-face sessions, and some people tell me like, oh, I do this, I do that, and then when I test it, I go like, you do this, and then what happened? Nothing happened.
Ouch.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of stories of that, And also the other part I realize, and this is coming.
I guess we don't know what we're looking out for, or we don't know what to watch out for. We don't know where the warning signs are, and when we do it ourselves, yes, we have the comfort of our homes, but there are many factors there that we have to. It becomes part of that. I know it takes up my space, because I'm wondering, did I do the right thing? Am I following the right thing? I'm scrambling for things on my own. So I often found it a struggle doing ceremonies on my own. In the start, especially.
It is quite a struggle, and the setup needs to be there. Blah blah blah. Just looking at how many items you need. Just looking at that one, right? How many items you need to perform a ceremony. I go like, best of luck procuring all of that items, right? So even from a very logistical point of view, it's a bit harder.
Sure.
Especially if you are untrained. Let me tell you a story. One time, in one of my preview, somebody told me she can charge a crystal with a pendulum. So I go like, show me. I go like, show me, I'm interested because I actually haven't been taught how to use the pendulum. And I go like, okay. Then she said, oh, just do clockwise, all of that, right? And then the other people watching there go like, but nothing's happening. And I go like, okay, let me try. And then I did the clockwise, and then the crystal started glowing, and you can see it. And she goes like, how come you do the same thing? And I go like, you do the same thing. I go like, I think there's that factor that because I am always in this kind of stage, there is some alignment inside me that will make this ceremony work. And I think that's one thing I go like, that's why when I go like, if my teacher or the ceremony master is going to conduct, I go like, I'm just gonna sit there. I go like, because I know his rank is higher than me. And whatever effect he is going to create, it's probably gonna be better than me doing that alone. And I'm like, okay, this is a very big lesson for all of us.
I agree. All tools, whether it's pendulums, crystals, any tool, and because I guess if you call me the potion girls, I just work more with materials. There is a lot of, and there's a huge study going on about how can you understand tools, the materials that come together, and the combination of things that makes new things. And there are many ingredients or tools that we choose to work with in ceremonies that are chosen intentionally because they have certain energies or certain alignments. So there's a lot of what I would call alternate consciousness, where we want to do a practice or a ceremony. So that's how it becomes sacred. I mean, when we say crystal, in my head I'm going, ooh, what kind of crystal was it? And what was the match of that crystal with the pendulum? Was the pendulum man-made? Or was it also a natural crystal? And how was the string? Because all that plus the length of that would make a difference. There is metaphysics involved. There's there are lots of laws involved just to make a combination of things go on there. And
All things are equal except the person holding.
yes.
So at
in
least
that
that was a
case.
little scientific experiment.
Oh no,
obviously.
then other things different. Your time frame, because the previous time frame was
Oh
different.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
And different time frames can open up different windows.
Different windows.
Which is, as we know in ceremonies, is important.
Correct.
We're not just doing it in a
a random thought or
yes,
something. Right?
it's usually aligned to some event,
Yes.
whether it's a seasonal or whether it's a alignment of the moon or the sun
or the sun,
or
yes,
the earth. I think
So for those of you who are in our Facebook community group called Shamanites, we would like to invite you again to another talk. If you want to know more, feel free to join our free online sessions called Ask a Shaman, where you get a chance to ask us your questions related to spirituality and life in general. And we can answer your question based on our shamanic point of view and our experience. All you need to do is add my tribe's Facebook group and look for the latest Ask a Shaman schedule that you can join in. It's free and all you need to do is click going in the events page. Lastly, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel so you can learn more about modern shamanism as a practice that can make your modern life a little bit more magical every day. Anyway, like what we always say in our channel, don't take my word for it, try it out for yourself. And that's all folks, I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!